What's up, everyone out there in internet land? I'm Vinny.
I'm Steve.
And welcome back to a very special Retro Grab Bag show. We have a guest here, Steve Prudente.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Steve is a long time friend of the family, friend of ours. Steve, I'd like to welcome you to the show, but also I'd like to welcome you to the year 2020.
Oh, wow. That's right. New decade.
You're in the future.
Wow.
Well, hopefully we get there.
Yeah. I was told the world was going to end in 2012.
Yeah.
But,
well, I guess it didn't because we're here.
We're going on 7 years past that. So, yeah.
Yep.
Let's keep it going, humanity.
Yeah, let's keep it up. So yeah, we're going to get into Steve's retro background. We played a lot of the same stuff, maybe a couple different experiences here and there. So Steve, what would be your first experience with video games? Like very first memory.
My very first memory, I believe, I can remember because I mispronounced the name of the game. It was a game called Grand Prix on the Atari 2600.
Nice.
And I used to pronounce it Grand Prix because I didn't know any better.
Didn't we all?
And that was
Grand Prix.
My cousin John. You remember Johnny?
Oh, geez. Of course. Crazy man. Yep.
Yeah, he got rid of his Atari system, and that got passed to me, and I had like a half dozen games.
Yeah, the same thing almost happened to me. It got passed down, and what a great system that was. So yeah, Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I really love that.
Grand Prix.
Yep. Before we go any further, I'd like to mention we had Jan Schupp on the show. He was our first guest. Now he also lived on Lafayette and played the games with us and stuff. So you were neighbors with him.
Yeah.
So you know him quite a bit too.
Yeah. Well, it was one of the reasons I was really excited you guys brought him on.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I used to live across the alley from you,
and
either you and I were hanging out, or I would come over to your house, and your brother's friends, which was Jan was one of them, they'd be hanging out and playing video games. So we shared a lot
all
of the
the
same
time. Yeah.
A lot of the same experiences. They kicked our butts in basketball a whole bunch.
Yeah. Well, they had that height advantage since they were a little bit older, but
and the weight.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna need to get like the Merkles.
Yeah, we need to get the Merkles on the show.
Like was it Jason and Bob? Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby, little Bobby.
So if you guys are listening, come to 555 Boulevard, USA. That's my address. No. So a couple episodes ago, I don't know if you saw us unbox, I finally got myself a Super Game Boy. And in that episode, I mentioned a couple times how envious I was of anyone who had this. You know, I was talking about you specifically.
I don't know if you were talking about me specifically, but
yeah. No, I definitely was.
Were you? Okay.
Well, I remember bringing some of my Game Boy games over to your basement and playing it, and I'm like, that's where I got that. Oh my God, I need one of these, but I never got one. Like seeing it on the TV was amazing.
It was. I remember
what a cool device.
It was. Yeah, it was like a really ahead of its time kind of thing. I mean, it was.
I would say so.
It was before Nintendo. I'm sorry. It was before Sega had come out with the Sega CD and the 32X and all those add-ons that they had for the Genesis.
Yeah, there were quite a few. Yep.
And this was neat because there were a few Game Boy games that weren't released on the actual Super Nintendo or the regular Nintendo that were a lot of fun to play on the Game Boy.
Some of them even were made for it. Right. It had a little more color to it. Once you played it, I think it was Donkey Kong Land 2 was one of them.
That was
actually no, this is one too because it had that little logo.
Yeah,
maybe I'll pop up that Game Boy Color logo.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, cool.
And also you had the ability to so you could play 2-player without a link cable because you remember the days of the link cables with the Game Boy.
Such a good point.
So you could play 2-player on a TV screen with a Game Boy game. And then if you only had a 1-player game, your other player could mess around and play on the edge of the screen and paint all kinds of fun things inside of the screen.
Yeah. We were doing a little bit of that. Me and the kids were playing around with this a little bit, yeah. That's a good point. I mean, it made 2-player Game Boy games so much easier.
I remember one specifically. I think you had Riddick Bowe boxing.
Yes.
And we could box against each other.
I still have that. Yep.
That
was fun.
We had Super Punch-Out and all that, but
Tecmo
that was
Bowl
still...
for Game Boy is actually like a really decent like version of that game. It really is. But yeah, you could play that in 2-player.
No, the
so
game
you kind of answered the next question. Like, what would you have been remembered the most of like a Game Boy memory?
The Game Boy memory.
Maybe you racked up the hours. Like for me, it was the Donkey Kong Land 1 and 2, and obviously the Zelda that came out, but Super Mario Land 2.
Yeah, 6 golden coins.
Oh my God, what
Great
a game. Yeah. So you rocked that out too. Okay.
I did that one, and also I think the game I played the most, you go back to the simplest easiest game to play, but the most fun that spent the most time was there were two, Dr. Mario and Tetris.
Oh yeah,
very similar games.
Dr. Mario, absolutely same here.
And I I didn't rock this out because I got into it came out right when I was tailing out of Game Boy and getting into other things, but the Pokemon game, the original Pokemon, was on Game Boy. A lot of people
quite
forget
a few
that.
after.
A lot of people forget that, though.
Yeah, the original. Wow. Yep. And I never got into that either. But I want to have Pokemon Stadium, I think, for N64. But yeah, those are really pricey. Like if you wanted to do like a Pokemon collection right now, you better bring it because
I don't have the collection, but I have the original red and blue. And
cool.
I've had some people who came after me. They're like, "I'll give you top dollar for it." I said, "I don't want to get rid of them. They're fun."
I have the Virtual Boy Nestor's Funky Bowling, which is kind of a rare one for that. And I was at a shop, and I literally told the guy that, and he gave me that same line. He was like, "Listen, if you want to sell that, don't bring it anywhere else." Like, I'm like, "Okay, well, we'll see. I'm not going to sell it ever." So, all right, now we're going to really get into it here. There's a game called Earthworm Jim.
Oh, okay.
It is notoriously hard, like early, let's say third, fourth stage, it gets notoriously hard.
All right.
This guy beat the game. How'd you do it? Just tell me anything about that experience, please.
All right. Well, so first off, I didn't beat it when I was a kid. I'll say that off the bat. I think this was round about college age, so I was experimenting with lots of mind-expanding substances.
Oh no!
And I was very good at not going to class.
Oh yeah.
So when I had a whole lot of free time on my hands and I did nothing but play those games, I got really, really good at the game.
So this is actually starting to make a little more sense to me. I actually don't feel as bad.
Well, like I said, it wasn't something that I did when I was a kid because some of those levels were really, really tough. I remember there was one you said that's not a problem, was a ridiculously tough level for you.
Well, there was like a couple stages to that one level where, and one of them was like it seemed impossible. Like it got
it gets worse from there.
Sure.
Because then there was a level called For Pete's Sake where you had to use Earthworm Jim's head to whip a dog across the level. Do you remember this?
What a crazy ass game. And so I eventually used like passwords or cheat codes to play through the game.
Right.
And I've played that for Pete's Sake level, and that is just nuts.
But it gets worse from there. There was another one where you had to head spin down all the spiky things into a tiny little ravine.
Oh,
and
did you show me that? I might have seen you play that a little bit ago. Yeah,
aptly named with the title Buttville, I think was the name of
it. Buttville.
And then, so I can't remember the final boss, but I remember after you beat him, and I don't care about spoiling this because the game's 25 years old at this point. But
sure.
So if you remember that game and you've played it before, and you launch the cow at the very beginning of the game.
Oh yes.
At the end of the game, you rescue the princess, and the freaking cow lands on top of the princess. So you play the entire
game, dude.
And you are so frustrated at the end of it because you beat the game and you lost.
I love it. What a fantastic game. It looked weird. Like the music was cool. It was a different beat of a game. Like it's really cool that you went through and beat that. Did you play Earthworm Jim too? I've never even seen a second of that.
I did. It wasn't, it's just like how do you reinvent the wheel? I mean,
it's kind of what happens with some of the games, especially a game like Earthworm Jim.
But. Yeah, it was definitely a disappointment. I did not have near the interest level with that one. I don't even remember why. But.
Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe for the show we'll do something like that. Next time you're in, we'll try to go. Maybe we'll play it.
What, Earthworm Jim 2?
2, and we'll do like a first impressions thing. Okay. So a couple more things here before we wrap up this retro intro with you.
Sure.
I just thought about this before we started taping. Joe and I like to remember the blizzard of 90. What was it? 92 or 93?
There were two
because
of them.
Jan came on the show and we've always said 93, but he's like, no, it was 94. And then I've heard it was 92.
There was a superstorm in 93 that like the entire East Coast was shut down. I think it was 93.
It's got to be it.
I think it was 93.
Because we had off for a whole week. We played, and then again, this is why Joe and I talk about this. We played so many SNES games and yada yada. We just kept it going. So you lived right behind us during that week where we had off. What is your blizzard of 93, let's call it, memory? Were you retro gaming? Were you playing with action figures like I was, or what?
What did we do?
Yeah.
We went out. We of course went outside and played in the snow. When we got tired of that,
right?
I do remember I came inside. We had just gotten the Super Nintendo. It was still kind of a novel thing. So I'm trying to remember exactly what games.
I think at that time we had also only had it like since that Christmas.
Yeah, it was
like, you know what I mean?
New.
Like, it was for us, it was pretty new.
You know what? It was because we got the action pack or whatever they called it with Super Mario All Stars and Mario Kart and the Super Mario World.
You were sad.
Yeah, and so that was the memory I had.
You were sad.
Yeah, it was right after Christmas. The blizzard happened. We were just like, "That's what we're gonna do." That was
so cool.
Even my sister played it, and she's not even a gamer. So
yeah, no, that's cool, man. Yeah, I figured we'd have to ask you about that because we bring it up so often. You were just right there the whole time.
Well, I mean, if it weren't for snow, we might not have gotten into video games.
That's true. Thank God for blizzards. So I want to close up talking about Nintendo Power. We actually have not mentioned this on the show yet.
Oh, really?
I don't think we have. I still have a bunch of these. There's still some behind you back there. You also had Nintendo Power. My greatest memory of Nintendo Power would be going over to your house. When you got some of these, sometimes they sent you like a 6-minute long VHS tape. Do you remember that?
I do.
For like Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country and Killer Instinct was another one.
There was a couple other, maybe Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island had one, I think.
I think it did.
But do you remember those tapes, and how great was that?
It was so this was like, I mean, you have to kind of, I'm not sure like what range of viewers we have here, but actually we have in our studio audience someone who is only 11 years old.
That's right. We have a whole audience back here.
Yes.
Just adults and kids and everybody, so.
Trying to explain sometimes to people what it was like before the internet.
Yeah.
What video game teasers were like.
Good point.
And, you know, how we found out about games either through magazines like Nintendo Power.
Absolutely. Or
the accidental thing where the Donkey Kong Country video, at the end of it, if you kept it playing after the VHS was done, so to speak, they walked in on them testing a Killer Instinct mod.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
And like the figures weren't even fully drawn yet; they were just stick figures, and they were testing out the
Didn't someone
game
yell at them to like leave too? Like,
oh
my God, I forgot about that.
Get
That's
out!
so funny. You still have any of those?
I don't know. I'd really have to dig deep.
I looked. I don't. I was hoping to uncover some of those, like, because oh man, those are so neat.
Yeah,
those were so neat that did. And like, imagine them doing that today. Like, there was literally only 5 or 6 minutes of tape on that VHS. Like, they went and printed those out. Like, how cool is that? It just would not happen today. It would just be popped on YouTube or whatever, which is great too. But that physical media that they would just rely on was so neat.
I know. Now anybody can record a video and put it on YouTube, it seems.
Tell me about it. All right, I think that's good for the intro. We're gonna do a couple more with Steve. By the way, I should probably mention the reason Joe's not here is because he's busy. So we had this window of opportunity during the holidays to get Steve in here. So Joe will be back at some point. So
holidays are always super busy. We understand as well. So I'm glad you were able to fit me into your busy schedule.
And, dude, totally. No, we had to do this. So yeah. All right. That's it for this episode. We'll see you next week. Treat each other well.